Today is one of the days of the summer where the sun wants to become a nuclear bomb. Wagwan everybody, welcome to The Walk. I'm your host, the Neverglue Meister. And today's episode, actually, I was about to say episode 1 because I haven't recorded in such a while. But I guess today is basically episode 1. Yeah, today's, I don't know. I'm just going to call it episode 1 because in my head, I feel like today's a new day. Or like a new journey or something. So, screw it. Welcome to episode 1 of The Walk. Whatever episode it actually is, I'll name it as that and I'll move on from there. But anyhow, I hope everyone's having a somewhat decent-ish day. Today is Tuesday. And I just finished the gym. And I got a nasty ass pump. Sorry guys, I'm trying to focus on driving. It's been a while since I recorded, so I'm not as good as I used to be. Jesus. The talking and focusing on driving and building ideas as you talk is difficult. But I guess I just talk random shit for now. Something I was thinking about in the gym. Sometimes I do sit there in the gym and say, what kind of ideas do I want to create for the video today? And one of the ideas that I was constantly thinking about nonstop, because the gym is also just 2 to 3 hours free of just thinking. If you're definitely someone who opens and pops out their phone in the middle of the gym, I'm not gonna get mad at you. I'm not gonna shame you. I'm not gonna say you have no discipline, but I would recommend that you don't use your phone at the gym. The reason why, the gym in itself is already very, very, very stimulating. Or it could be less stimulating if you have your phone. You know what I mean? So if you're constantly popping your phone, the set that you just did won't be as entertaining as the doom scrolling that you're doing in between your sets. So you're not gonna be as fired up or amped to do your set. But if you just do your set and you just rest, actually just rest and rest your mind too, you're gonna get more amped during those 2 minutes. In fact, you might be anxious because you're like, I need to do something. Because you're so used to doom scrolling, you're so used to lifting, whatever. You're gonna be like, I need stimulation, I need stimulation. The lift is your stimulation. Also, during those 2 minutes where you're resting or a few minutes or whatever, is an opportunity for you to clear your mind in a way. When you're always popping out your phone, and this is kind of the point of the phones. I think phones was created, Instagram, social media. If you're not mindful, it was created to kind of steal your autonomy. That's it. If you're not mindful of your autonomous nature, phones are created to steal it. Alright. With that being said, those few minutes where you're not on your phone in the gym is a few minutes where you can clear your head, kind of. And I value those few minutes more than I value the set. Because whatever it is that I'm thinking, it can be junk, it can be valuable, it can be detrimental to my lift, to my day, to whatever. It needs to be done in that space because that's kind of the safe space. You know what I mean? Aside from meditations or prayers or whatever you guys do in your life, the gym is kind of like a 2-hour mental safe space. And it doesn't hurt to go there and be a little bit more mindful of what's going on in here. So yes, connect with your body, be closer with your body, lift for your body, and let that be the only stimulation that you feel. Because A, each lift you're gonna have a deeper connection with. B, when you're resting, the most entertaining thing is gonna be the next lift. And C, when you're resting, you're doing a lot of mental work that you should be doing. And if you don't do it, well, it's gonna bite you in the ass, kind of. So that's not the topic I was thinking about in the gym, but somehow the topic that I was thinking about in the gym led to this topic about how you should be mindful of your time at the gym. So yeah, doom and doom. But yeah, and I think the reason why I was thinking about this in the gym is because, the topic, the topic I was thinking about at the gym was love, and I don't think I'm actually going to get into it. But the reason why I was thinking about love so deeply in the gym, especially when I was doing cardio, is because I have a deep love for the gym. It's not really like, you don't have to force me to go to the gym. There's a lot of people out there, and I don't know why. It might be psychological, it might be traumatic, it might be embarrassing, scary, whatever it may be. It might be that they're insecure. There might be a lot of reasons why they don't go to the gym. But for me, I don't need a reason to go to the gym. In fact, I don't need a reason to be physical. Like, I love like using my physical body, basically. I love being connected to my body. If I have to depend on my mind to survive in this world, I'll be honest with you, I probably wouldn't. I need my body more than I'm more in tune with my body than I am with my own brain, which is part of the body, to be honest. But nonetheless, I deeply love the gym. And it's my deep love for the gym that kind of, I don't need fuel. I don't need anything. I don't have to need anything. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, focus on yourself. I don't have to think like that. Or make sure you do your cardio. I don't have to think like that. Or make sure to do abs. I don't have to. Each next thing I'm about to do at the gym is extremely entertaining and I can immerse myself deeply into it. I could never do that with anything I studied in school. I cannot do that with my job. I can't even do that with some of the relationships I have in my life. Like, some of the people I know in my life, I can't even be deeply immersed. And this kind of sounds weird, but this is what I'm talking about when I mentioned love. I can't deeply immerse myself in some of the people that I talk to and hang out with as I do with the gym. And trust me, I do have people in my life that I am deeply immersed with, way more deeply than the gym. Like, but thinking that way made me ask the question: if the gym was removed from my life, will I suffer? And I think the answer is absolute. It's like I know if my parents was removed from my life, I'd suffer. I know if my closest friends were removed from my life, I'd suffer. And I would suffer a great grief. But I can overcome that grief. And and that's kind of love in a way, like overcoming grief and whatnot. But not being able to connect myself with my body is just me losing autonomy in itself. Like, me becoming less autonomous in itself. We're all extremely, and I'll be honest with you, before I started going to the gym, I used to hate physical activity because we got used to sedentary lifestyle. I got used to the sedentary lifestyle. So moving my body made me feel uncomfortable. But the more I started doing it, and the more I started realizing how depressed and how anxious and how miserable I was prior to it, the more I fell in love with it. Like, I no coffee, no drugs, no nothing can give me the high that I'm looking for like the gym. In fact, no job, nothing that I study, nothing that I even accomplish can give me the high that I get when I accomplish something at the gym. The gym is just simply something I love. And then it got me thinking, like, what else? Like, what is this, like an unconditional thing? Is this what unconditional love is like? When you have something that you cherish and it's so valuable to you, without reasoning, without logic, without anything, therefore you want to maintain it. And that's the gym for me. And it made me think about other areas in my life where it wasn't the case. And it got me thinking of people in the world where that's not the case. Like I said, my friends, there's some relationships where I don't even have, we say we have a closer bond, but we really don't. And we kind of just say it because if we don't, it's weird, right? And I'm starting to see this in a lot of, to be honest, families. I'm starting to see a lot of husbands and wives, or wives and wives, and husbands say they love each other, but really they do not. And they don't even know what that means. I bet you a lot of people don't know what love is, or what it means, or what it entails. They think, and I'm borrowing a quote from a musician here, I forgot her name, but she's so beautiful. I think it's Lauryn Hill. Yeah, Lauryn Hill. What the heck? you guys don't even know what love is, because the moment someone stops stimulating you, you're not in love, or something along that lines. And it's true. It's true. A lot of people think that the stimulation they get from someone else is love. No. And I will use the gym as an analogy for love as well, because I think it's simple enough for everyone to understand. I have no reason to go to the gym, and yet I do it. I could have a reason to not go to the gym, but I will still go. Why? Is it because I have discipline? Fuck discipline. Discipline is just a way to pride some and shame others. Is it because I have shame and I don't know. I'm trying to look for another example. No, it's because I have a deep devotion, and devotion is love. You're never going to be devoted to something that you don't love. I have a deep devotion to the gym, even if my back is like, I do have issues with my back. Even if I have issues with my body, even if I have this, even if I have that, I'm still going to the gym. Even if I'm old, I'll still go to the gym, because I genuinely love the gym. It's not like I need to feel amped to go to the gym. It's not like I need to feel pumped to go to the gym, even though some days I am, some days I do. Some days it feels like I need to, but it doesn't matter. I'm there anyway, right? That's love. That's devotion. And that's kind of the whole point of having a partner. It's a kind of just being there without a need, without a desire. And even if you have an excuse or a reason to not be with that person, or to not do something for that person, or to not maintain this relationship, you'll still do it anyway because of that devotion. Some of the greatest and most successful people in life are successful because they're just simply devoted. Simply devoted to themselves, devoted to the people they love, and devoted to the thing they love. The most successful bodybuilder is because he's devoted to the sport. The most successful engineer is because he's devoted to engineering. The most successful doctor is because he's devoted to saving lives. The most successful child, student, parent, whatever, is the most successful because they devoted themselves to this. But how do you devote yourself to something? Is it by constantly shaming yourself until you feel like you're devoted? Or is it constantly priding yourself until you feel like you're devoted? None of these things. It's actually neither, but a little bit of both. Actually, probably not. I'm just trying to be coy. It's love. It's an unconditional, unfettering, unyielding love. And if you're somebody who's adamant about how unconditional love is fake, then please click off this video. I don't have time to even explain it. It's like, we know what unconditional love is. You know what I mean? Like, we all understand it and know it conceptually, yet we want to reject it. Or we want to, if you actually have an adamant disagreement to just the concept of unconditional love, you are literally the person that I stole the Lauryn Hill quote from. You are literally the person I'm talking about. You are incapable of love because you have no idea what love is. You think love is constant stimulation. If you think love is conditional, and it has to be conditional, then you think love is constant stimulation, and it's a formula, and it's something that must be obtained and conquered. It's not. It's something that attracts, grows, breeds. It's like yeast in a way. That was the worst example, but like on pennant, like it's the best and yet worst example, because no one's thinking about yeast when they're thinking about love. But yeah, it's like yeast. Like you give it a little leeway, and it starts bubbling, and boom, 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 boom. There's a bunch of things that you could put in bread to make bread. Anyway, it's something beautiful. Anyway, yeah, it's like, I don't know why my brain just equates the process of love, the process of attraction, breathing, breeding, growing, whatnot to yeast. But hey, just weird like that. Okay, that was actually a pretty decent video. Started talking about something I love because I was thinking about love at the gym, and then I explained. I didn't explain shit, but I had fun doing it. And I love making videos because I love thinking. I studied philosophy. Well, I studied computer science, but my minor was in philosophy. And I loved my philosophy classes a lot more than my computer science classes. And I'm like, man, I wish I can be rich just studying philosophy. But I can't. And then I realized the only reason why I studied computer science is because I wanted to make money. And then I realized I sold my soul. And then I realized how, watch the prologue video, it explains everything. But yeah, man, I love the gym. It was around that time when I started studying philosophy is when I started going to the gym too. Because I always loved questioning things because everything was extremely questionable. Like my entire life, I had to question everything. Like, why can't I grow my hair? Like, why can't I have this? Or why you act like that? Or why do you do this? Or why do I have to sit 8 hours even though my body is screaming at me that I can't sit 8 hours? Those type of questions I had to ask, right? And why am I always bored? Why is my mind going this way, that way, that, la. Always have to ask these type of questions. And I never find an area, especially in school, where you're allowed to do that. And it's stupid. You're supposed to ask questions in school. But asking the questions, you're not allowed to do. Until I went to college and I had the opportunity to study Philosophy 101. Fell in love with it because it allowed me to be free. It allowed me to think freely and allowed me to think critically. And I continued to do it. And even now to this day, I continue. It's so funny. I spent, in my collegiate time, I probably spent more time writing like my own personalized theories and thoughts and whatnot than in code. I spend more time writing about philosophy than I did about any code. Or did I for any project even. Or even for my own personal project. If any recruiter sees this, I'm fucked. But nonetheless, like, that's just how I truly felt. I always loved to think. I'd always love to pour out my thoughts. That's why I do these videos. And I always love to move and be active. And maybe I'm not the only one. Maybe we all do this. Maybe we all love this. But we allow certain ideas, conditioning, ego personas, and egoic thinking to infiltrate us. But the ego is good if you're not attached to whatever the fuck it's telling you. In fact, it's so good, you can literally transform it into whatever the fuck you want it to be. If you want to be Elon Musk tomorrow, you can transform your ego to eventually become Elon Musk. If you want to be Goku, that's a little bit difficult, but it's possible. If you believe it's possible. In fact, I can go as far to say the entire premise of Christianity is building and changing and shifting and moving and shaping your ego to become more like the ultimate ego in the terms of Christianity, which is Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is the ultimate ego. It's the ultimate persona. And the whole premise is your persona sucks because everyone's persona does suck. We are, especially in 2026, everyone has a shitty ego because they are looking at slop, they're looking at trash, they're thinking trashly, and they're believing in a lot of weird things. And the world is just fucking weird right now. I'll be honest with you. I'm a weird person myself. But anyway, everyone's ego is not where it's supposed to be. Your entire purpose in life, and if you believe in whatever the ego is telling you, you're cooked already. But your entire purpose in life is to lessen the control that the ego has on you, to shift, mold, change your ego to become better. And to become the ultimate version of you that you could ever be. Because there are literally people in this world that are born and die, and that's it. Like they never questioned anything, they never changed anything. Whatever identity they told themselves they are, they just that, and they lived like that forever. That's not the life I want, and that's not the life I want for anyone watching these videos. Because I think we all have the potential to live the best life that we could live. But that is equal to the potential that we have to live the worst life that we could ever live. And that is simply by your ego. Your identity, how you feel about that identity, and how you kind of revolve around it. You know what I'm saying? Like when I wake up in the morning, who am I kind of question, and you revolve around that question over and over and over and over again. That kind of trap. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Even the word I, like who's I? Who the fuck is I? Like I, who's I? Who's I? Who is this I person? You know what I mean? And it's so funny because it's a persona and I call it a person and I call it myself and I say it's I. But at the same time, I can disassociate from that. What the fuck? Anyway, bye guys, I love you. I hope you guys watch the next video. I might talk about ego more, or I might just keep chatting shit like I did in this video. Or I might talk about the gym. Let me know if you want me to record myself in the gym. I kind of want to like have a decent physique first before I do that. But I always record the videos after the gym because I always feel like my consciousness is at its peak after the gym. Because like I said, most of my life until I found the gym, I felt like I was dead because I had nothing to devote myself to. I finally found something I can devote myself to. And I have multiple, like ultimately I'm devoted to Jesus Christ. And I have another spiritual friend and she tells me that this is not good. Well, she doesn't say that. Hold on. But her ideas are completely different from mine, especially around God. And it makes me so questioned and wonder, like, if I just threw this thing away, will my life really be that bad? And I think so, yes. If I threw away my conceptions, my idea, my everything about Jesus Christ, yeah, my life, I would suffer 100%. Because that's kind of my foundation. Not like, even before my identity, I was a Christian, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I was a baby walking around the church, I understood that more than I understood myself. Even till now, I still have flashbacks of me walking around the church and smelling incense and hearing the clanging of the bell. And that felt more like me than me. So yeah, I think if you remove Jesus Christ from my life, there is no point to my life. Maybe that's egoic. And maybe that's the ego that I wish to achieve. I'm a great yapper, right? I know how to chat shit. Like, my friend and I, they always make fun of me for this. They're like, Nebi, you could get a job by just talking shit. And I'm like, yeah, absolute. Like, I can definitely, and that's just because I have this like faith and confidence that this whole thing is a game.